Well, my workplace warriors, here we are on December 31st, 2024, here in the US of A. It is almost 7:30, 7:28 to be exact, where I am on the East Coast in Metro Atlanta, Georgia. And just like I tell you all every holiday, not to give your job search a holiday break, I am following my own advice. So I'm not even at home in my home office, as you probably can tell. I am at our cousin's house, at my husband's cousin's house, and they were gracious enough to let me find a corner in their house that I could just come to you for a few minutes and talk to you about yet another job search related topic. And our topic today is behavioral interview questions. And if you're not aware of or familiar with what behavioral interview questions are, they are just what you probably kind of um, anticipate from their name. They are questions that are meant to anticipate or gauge what your behavior would be in a certain situation. And they are actually one of the number one type, if not the number one type of interview question that we as HR professionals like to use and like to encourage our hiring managers to use when selecting a new team member and assessing their fit for the role and for the organization. So, the purpose of a behavioral interview question is to gauge based on past behavior, past performance, how you would address a certain workplace issue if you were faced with it in their particular work environment. And studies have been conducted that prove that these types of questions can be a very accurate gauge of your tendency to respond to certain workplace situations in a certain way. And from your response to the behavioral interview questions, the hiring manager can make a determination as to whether or not you would be a good fit for the role, whether your response would be acceptable for their particular workplace culture and for the situation, and whether you would move forward in the selection process any further. So, that is one of the reasons why hiring managers are highly encouraged to utilize behavioral interview questions. And why do managers want to have that sort of gauge? It's because it is very expensive for companies or employers to hire and train new employees. So when they make that investment in you joining their team, they want you to they want to make sure that you're going to be someone who can quickly contribute to the success of their team and ultimately to the company's bottom line. So those are their main two reasons for wanting to use behavioral interview questions to gauge your manner of responding to workplace scenarios. The other is that every organization has its own set of spoken and unspoken workplace expectations, and that's what makes up the culture of the organization and makes the workplace work environment what it is at in each workplace. And they don't want to make that investment in bringing someone onto the team who does not prove to be the best person for the role. So if they anticipate any red flags in your response to a behavioral interview question, the likelihood of you moving forward in that selection process, unfortunately, is going to be very slim. And I'll tell you about a real life example that I am very aware of. I have a former colleague who is an excellent HR generalist, and he has just as many years of HR experience as I have, or possibly even more. And he has a diverse background in HR in different industries. And we actually worked in the telecommunications industry together some years back. And I have a great deal of respect for him. Well, he was laid off a little over a year ago from his position in higher education, and he reached out to me, asked me if I had any leads or any suggestions on where he could start with putting his feelers out there to secure another career opportunity, and I recommended him for a role at one of our campuses. Well, he had his interview. He had his initial telephone screening interview. That went well. He was selected to go in. I think it was for in person. I don't think it was a video, a virtual interview. But he went for the in-person interview, and when I called to check in with him to see how his interview went, he said that everything went well except he could tell that one question that was asked, and I can't remember what the question was, but it was a behavioral interview question, and it asked him something about how he would guide the manager if the manager came to him with a certain scenario. Well, based on his background and what we dealt with in our roles in the telecommunications industry when we worked together as HR generalists twos, I knew that he would respond in an appropriate manner. However, the answer or response that he gave was evidently not a response that one of the stakeholders who was on the interview panel expected or was looking for. And as a result, he was not chosen to move further in the selection process. He was not chosen as a finalist to move forward, and he ultimately did not get the job. He already knew before, and that's why you'll always be able, well, I won't say always, some interviewers are more difficult to read their responses or their reaction to your responses that you give. However, you can usually gauge when you walk out of the interview how well you did during that interview and if you're likely to be chosen to move forward in the selection process. So it didn't come as a surprise to him. He was disappointed because he was eager to get back into the workplace, but all's well that ends well, because that wasn't the end of his story. That one didn't work out, but another opportunity worked out, and we haven't been in contact for a little while. As a matter of fact, I would have been thinking about him during the holiday season, and I plan to give him a call early in 2025 just to check in with him and see if how things are going. He was really excited about the new opportunity that he did land, and I know that he will do really well, and also wouldn't be surprised if somebody else has snatched him up. And to be honest, I feel that, and I may be a little biased, but I feel that it was probably our organization's loss that we did not snatch them up. But it's up to the hiring manager and the feedback from their stakeholders and the others on the interview panel to determine if that person is a good fit for the role. So he accepted it. He moved on in with a positive mindset, and his career keeps on going. He's not letting any dust grow under his feet. And I encourage you too, as you continue to get accustomed to the different types of interview questions and you build your confidence in responding to different types of interview questions, you are going to become a master at the process, and you're going to be able to authoritatively walk into those interviews and know that you've done a good job, and you'll know when you've landed your ideal opportunity. So I just wanted to stop in and say hello to you all. Happy New Year's Eve. I will be checking in with everybody on tomorrow on New Year's Day, but I wanted to stay true to my own advice to not give my channel or my business a holiday break. I'm enjoying family, but I'm taking out about 10-15 minutes because this is how important it is to me to stay connected to you guys, because I appreciate you all so much, all of your support and tuning in. Wishing all of you a safe, happy, and healthy New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day. And I will check with you all tomorrow. As always, you know that my mission is to help you live your best career life. So I need you to do some things for me. One, click on that like button to let others know that, to let the algorithm know that others need to hear this valuable content. And also share this content with anyone else who you know is on a mission to living their very best career life. And if you haven't already, when you are ready, subscribe, because I would love for you to become one of my official workplace warrior family members. And if you'd like to work with me more closely, please keep your eyes and ears open. Check out the information that is below the video or below the written script of the article if you're reading the article, and you'll find all of the links to work with me more closely. And I look forward to seeing you all also during my next Friday morning live this coming Friday, January 3rd, at 7 a.m. for my normal Friday morning lives. Until next time, which will be a new year, I wish you well, career success as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.